If you have a keychain attached here, you don't necessarily have to take it off. But the first thing you want to do is slide this little lever here and pull out the physical key. So the physical key will be attached to your keys. And the physical key actually has this little flat spot here on the end. So right there, it's a little bit flatter, like a flathead screwdriver. And what we're going to do is use this in this little spot right in here. You can see right in there, there's a spot for this flathead screwdriver to basically go into. So you put that in there, in that little spot in the middle, and it's kind of like a clamshell design. So you can see it's right there. Just put it in there, and then you can pry this way, where the key cut is up like that, and then you pry. Now, before you pry, there is a few things that can fall out, and I'll show you what they are. So what you want to do is just crack it open a little bit. Then you can set down your physical key. Now, what you want to do is have the smooth side up and then kind of gently separate it like this. Now, the two things that can fall out, the main thing is this part. That's the most important piece. You don't want that to fall out with the actual battery and circuit board. The other thing is this little catch right here with a spring. Usually this stays put, but just in case, you'll just want to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't get dislodged or anything like that. So now this is looking pretty good, so we'll just set this smooth side down, get that out of the way. Now we have this part. Now this part right here is loose in there. It's just sitting right inside of this little rubber seal right there, and that's where the buttons go. So you can keep that rubber seal right in place, and then you can just kind of set this down, get it out of the way. So this little circuit board, you have to be very careful with it. You don't really want to touch on this green side. You want to try to keep your hands on the edge here. And you'll notice that the battery, it's kind of thick battery. It's the CR2450. And you'll notice that this side right here has a little catch here and here, and then this side has a smaller catch. On the smaller side, you don't want to pry on this side. You want to push up on this side, because these smaller ones will get out of the way. These will actually break if you try to pry on these. So there's a spot right here on the end, right here, that you can kind of put something in there. The key doesn't really work good for this, so you have to just have, maybe a pair of tweezers or something to just kind of get in here and pry up. Because what you want to do is, what happens when you pry up on it is that these little plastic pieces have to move back. So there's a little bit of pressure, and then once they move it back, then it kind of pops up. So you notice it kind of lifted up. As soon as I got enough pressure, it popped right up. So that's just the nature of it. And so you take it out, you get the new battery, and then you put it in place right here where it hooks on this side. It hooks on that side like that. You kind of push it like so, and then you press down, kind of get it right in place on both sides here like that. And then kind of push it down. You might have to kind of help these little arms here on this side to get out of the way while you're pressing it down, and then it should snap in place. And make sure both of these sides here and here are snapped over the battery. These should already be, but these are the ones that are kind of pressure fit the battery in place. So make sure they are pushed over and they're overlapping the battery now. And then the battery should be flush, ready to go. And then you can take this little assembly and put it back down inside the seal. So the seal has a little, the shape to it is perfectly made for this to go into, but it's real easy to get one side on the edge like that. So you basically want to make sure it's all the way down flat, so you can see the seal all the way around the edges there. Make sure that assembly is all the way down in there. And then get the other side. Make sure you be careful with that little spring. and go like this. Kind of lay it, make sure it's lined up. Without pressing the buttons, just kind of snap it together, press on the edges, and then check. Make sure as you go around, make sure the edge is all the way completely sealed up, and there's no gaps or anything. And the reason why I say you want to try to avoid pressing the buttons, you know, you don't want to accidentally unlock your car or turn the alarm on or anything like that, or accidentally open up the power lift gate, especially if it's in a garage or something. You don't want it to lift up and damage something. So then you put your physical key back in, and then you're all finished.